I think at least mythologically speaking, we're living in an age of collapse, where there's a loss. Imagination is what fuels human culture, and there's a loss of imagination and meaningful images. And so then there's a loss of meaning in life. And so everybody's struggling. No one knows what it really means to be a man. No one knows what it really means to be a woman in a certain sense. The shared story isn't there of what a woman would be, what a man would be. And as I was talking, the stories aren't there of what happens when someone comes back from battle. There's a whole process of taking the frenzy out of the battle hero or the warrior. And without knowing that, people begin to think men are just these harsh, out of control kind of people, or else they're these fathers that never show up. All they do is go to work and they don't show up for their kids. And that leaves a huge gap, because back to the half-boy story, people are not supposed to be half alive. They're supposed to be fully alive. And to be fully alive means to have a connection to and a sympathy to the feminine in the world and to the masculine. There's an ancient Greek myth that in the beginning, the first humans had 4 arms and 4 legs, and they were kind of round and they would roll around, you know, and everything was fine because they were big and round and whole and they had lots of hands and stuff like that. But it was kind of boring, apparently, and the gods didn't find it all that interesting, so they whacked them all in half. And they made half of them women and half of them men. And so then those two halves are wandering around the world trying to find each other all the time so they could feel whole. And ever since then, the gods have been laughing a lot and having a good time, and they have a lot to talk about at the end of the day. And then people are in this state of loss and longing. And so people are supposed to have moments where they feel whole. And to feel whole, in the moment of wholeness, a man can understand something about women and the feminine, and a woman can understand something about men and the feminine. And I'll go back to where we started from, in a sense. When you have mythological education and you have rites of passage, young people have moments of wholeness, moments where they reveal themselves to themselves. And those moments of wholeness are what keep a person together throughout life. And that's what's missing. And I think it's up to the older people to bring it back somehow. I don't think the young people can find it necessarily or readily on their own. I think people of my generation are supposed to find this and somehow bring it back. And the more that happens, then more imagination will come back, and I think people will have less need to be fundamentalistic because they'll imagine more of a world than the one that they're currently dealing with.